أهلا بكم متابعينا الكرام. من منا لا يشعر بالخوف في هذه الظروف الراهنة؟ كيف ونحن نعاني من وباء عالمي، وما يزيد طين بلة تركيز وسائل الإعلام في التحذير منه والتهويل من مخاطره. لذا قررنا إنتاج هذه الحلقة للطبيب وعالم الأحياء الأمريكي الدكتور بروس ليبتون، والذي يتحدث عن موضوع الخوف وكيف يؤثر سلباً على حياتنا وأجسادنا، ثم طريقة التخلص منه بفضل ممارسة بعض العادات السليمة التي يفصح عنها في هذا الفيديو. ابقوا معنا.
Today, fear is 24/7, 365. The system was never designed for prolonged fear and stress as we are experiencing in today's world. This is a little more aggressive than a normal flu because it hasn't been around before, but if your immune system is in good shape, you've got no problem. But if I can weaken your immune system, you become vulnerable. Community is a representation of power. When people are in community, they have power. But if you break up the community and separate all the people, no more power. The first understanding is that flu season comes every year. And I say, why is it related to the winter time? And it's an important reason to understand that the viruses that cause the flu generally function better at lower than body temperature. When we start breathing cold air in the winter, the respiratory tract gets cooler because of the cold temperature than the rest of the body. Well, this makes these cells in the respiratory system pretty prime for a viral infection, especially that works at lower temperatures. So flu seasons come when winter shows up, and then when winter goes away, the flu season disappears because it's not the best environment. Every year we have flu season. It's every year. I say, so what's so different about this year? And I say, the virus hasn't been around for years and years. It's relatively newly introduced into the human population. So most humans do not have an immunological memory to help alleviate the symptoms of the flu. So this year, the flu is a little more aggressive than previous years, only because most of us have not had an experience with this virus in the past. That's the nature of the game. Well, then here comes the problem. There are two protection systems. The immune system protects me on the inside. The adrenal system, which is called fight or flight, protects me from threats on the outside. I distribute energy in the body where I need the energy. And when it comes to threats and survival, if it's a threat from the outside world, I need to put all the energy into that. When we perceive a threat, the body releases stress hormones. So what happens when stress hormones are released in the body? And the first thing is this: all functions not related to running away from that tiger are shut down to conserve the energy. When you're in fear, you shut down the growth and maintenance of the body. We have to maintain our physiology and our health. You know, it's not that difficult. The number one thing is this: first of all, eat food that is good for you, not industrial farm, but organic, natural, healthy food. Industrial farm food is loaded with chemicals that influence our system in a very negative way. Taking care of your nutrition, number one, is important because we nourish our cells. And if you shorten the supply of nourishment, of course you're going to be open to sickness. Number two, take advantage of vitamins and supplements and things to support us because our food isn't that great, especially vitamin C. When we support ourselves that way, we strengthen the immune system. And then third thing, watch what you're thinking. Because the moment you are thinking of stressful things like, oh my God, I'm not working for weeks and on my job, my salary, do I have any money? Fear comes from that. Can I pay the rent? Fear comes from that. Am I gonna die? Of course, fear comes from that. And I go, these fears are the primary things that inhibit the function of the immune system. A human is a community of 50 trillion cells. The cells are the living entity. Every day in a normal body, every day, hundreds of billions of cells die every day. If you don't replace those cells, you're going to die. In our body, we have embryonic cells. They're the same embryonic cells we had when we were in the womb. It replaces the cells that die every day. Whatever picture you hold in your mind, the brain translates that picture into chemistry that complements that picture and puts that chemistry in the blood, and the body responds to the picture in your mind. When you're in love, the brain releases love chemistry, which is like dopamine, pleasure. That's why falling in love, oh, it's so great, it's pleasure. It also releases oxytocin, which bonds you to the source of your love. It releases another chemical, vasopressin, that makes you more attractive to your partner, so that your biology is now, advertising, I'm a healthy, happy person, vasopressin. But the big one is this: growth hormone is released into the blood when you're in love. The chemistry of the body provides extreme health. That's why people, when they fall in love, they glow, they're so healthy, everything's like, oh my God, I love my life. I go, that's chemistry, okay? Now let's just give today's chemistry and fear. A picture of fear in my mind causes stress hormones, cortisol, things like that, and factors that shut down the immune system. They're called cytokines. A cell can be in growth, or a cell can be in protection, but a cell can't be in both at the same time. Growth, I move to a stimulus, like someone I love or something I like, I move to it, and I'm open. I take it in. Love, I want to be open. I want to assimilate it. Joy, I want it open. I want to take it in. And I say, so growth is going to a stimulus, open. I say, what about protection? I go, oh, if there's a stimulus out there that you are in fear of, you don't go to the stimulus, you go away from the stimulus. I say, do you stay open? I say, absolutely not. You close yourself down to protect yourself. Growth, you move to the stimulus. Fear, you move away from the stimulus. Growth, you stay open to take it in. Fear, you close yourself down to protect it. And I go, our biology is now based on whether we're open to be in love or we're closed because we're in fear. And I say, well, here we are today, ladies and gentlemen. This is the state of fear that is compromising not just your growth and maintenance of your body, but it's shutting off your immune system, opening us to disease. And this is the biggest problem that we have to face, is what is your consciousness? Because your consciousness is going to control the fate of your biology. The first principle of quantum physics is consciousness is creating your life experience. The biology we just talked about is the interface of how consciousness controls the chemistry from the brain, which controls your life experiences, your genetics, your behavior, and the character of your life.
When I go to my doctor, I go to the hospital, I don't hear this from any of the establishments in medicine. I never hear it's all about chemistry and biology, and no one would ever dare say that my feelings about something, that my visualizations in my life might affect my biology. Why is that?
Genetics means genes control the character of your life. Epigenetics is the environment controls the genes. If the genes control your life, that belief system, then by definition, we become victims of our heredity. Epigenetics say, no, this is completely false. The environment and our consciousness is controlling this. And I say, why is it relevant? Well, if you want to change your biology, then change your consciousness. You don't have to change your genes. Let me give you a fact. There's not one gene that causes cancer. There's no such thing as a gene that causes cancer. Genes are correlated with cancer, but they don't cause it. If you're not living in harmony, a so-called oncogene could be engaged, which will make things worse. But if you're living in harmony, there is no gene that is going to take that harmony and make cancer. A child's brain is a computer. In the last trimester, it's operational to the extent that it boots up. But I say you cannot use that computer until you put programs in it. From the last trimester of pregnancy through age 7, the brain is not operating at the higher vibration of consciousness. The brain is operating lower than consciousness. It's a vibration called theta. The brain is in a state of hypnosis through age 7. Whatever the child sees and hears and experiences, it's a download, straight download. That's where the programs come from. And then after age 7, we're engaged with consciousness where we can use those programs. And that is this. So what's the function of the subconscious? Programs. What's the function of the conscious? Creativity. So I say conscious mind is creative. Subconscious mind is habit.